What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today, and in this video I'm going to be taking a look at the Gemini Jets October 2025 releases. Fortunately, we have stuck with the cycle for Gemini Jets this time around, and let's see what they have in store for us on this wonderful month. Looks like I got a pretty big release to cover, so let's start off with the 1 to 200s. There's the United Express Embraer 175 to get things started. No Air Force aircraft like we have had historically anyway. And then we also have a United A321neo to boot. Third release, we have the Qantas 737-800 with the new livery. Our fourth, we have Helvetic E190-E2. It's been a little while since they've done it in 400, but good to see that carrying over into the larger scale. Then the fifth release, there's the new Emirates A380. This is the new standard livery, which essentially just has larger Emirates titles and a updated tail logo, which is the flag of the UAE. It's got a little more depth to it than previous iterations. Let's see what's up next. Eastern 727-100, one of many future releases that have been up and alongside the new ones which came out earlier, about a week ago now actually. We'll see if any of those appear in this release. China Northern MD-90 getting a 1 to 200 release. That is very nice. They did not do one for the JAL, I believe. So interesting that the China Northern gets that, but the JAL does not. American Eagle Saab 340, there we go. That one's been sitting on the future release tab for a long time. Good to see that. And it will complement the Delta Connection from last month pretty well. There's the U.S. Airways Heritage 321, also good to see. And our final 1 to 200 release is the Airbus Beluga. They just retired these, so this is the tail number 1. So now they fully moved on to the Beluga XLs, which are the A330-700, which I think is interesting that they've given it that official model number. But the Airbus Beluga, a derivative of the A300. One of many oversized cargo aircraft that have been developed and used over the years. Okay, let's move on to the 1 to 400 to see what we've got. Vietjet Air A330. This is the Petro Limax. I just saw a post from Panda Fox Toys in Vietnam that said that they were going to be announcing this, so a little sneak peek from that earlier. Interesting. I don't think they've done a Vietjet Air in a while, though. That's pretty new. Continental Retro 739 up next. Very, very nice. I've already got the NG, so this, of course, I'm not going to get, and obviously the mold's better. That's a whole nother story. Oh, United 735 Battleship Gray in 400. Yes, that is good. Super happy that they're doing this in the smaller scale. There was quite the push for it to be made in 1 to 400. Super glad that they did that. Oh my god, Northwest 753. Oh, hell nah. This is not going to be a good release for my wallet. What is this? 587 November Whiskey. I'm not sure if they've done that with Delta colors, but oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let's see what's up next. Norse Atlantic 789. Okay. Very, very nice. That's a flaps down, so we'll see the regular release after that. Good to see. And then moving up, Ethiopian 777X. And this does have, there's a new graphic you see on the top left, folded wings version. So it looks like they're going to do more with the 777X, despite it not being in passenger service yet. But of course, we have a really good idea of who's all ordered it, and it's easy to just replicate the liveries on the 777X. Very nice. Okay. Oh, Emirates 727-200. All right. Interesting choice. I know they had the Pan Am and the Northwest up there for future releases, but a little bit of a curveball with the Emirates this month. They've done the A300 and the A310 already, so good to see them doing this one. Delta, another 717. This one is 947 Alpha Tango. I've not flown this specific tail. I think it was 894. That was the one that I flew. So, not a matching tail, but maybe at some point we'll get a matching one later. We have another American 789. This is 836 Alpha Alpha with a flaps down release, and then to boot, a regular wing config. Okay, so that is all of the releases this month. Quite a couple of curveballs in here to keep collectors on their toes. All right, so let's look at the 1 to 200s here. I love the Beluga, the Saab 340, China Northern, Eastern, just as my retro bias would say. But the other releases, obviously the United Express Embraer 175 is really good. The United Neo, that one's pretty solid. And the Qantas new livery. So some of these, you do have some carryovers. The only ones really being the U.S. Airways Heritage, the China Northern, the Helvetic, Qantas, and the Uniteds. And the Emirates A380 new livery, they did a long time ago in 400 scale. They just never got to a 200 one, if I recall. So really the only new ones would be the Eastern, the American Eagle Saab, and the Airbus Beluga. And then up in 1 to 400s, some surprises to say the least. The Emirates 727, the Northwest 75, the United 735. Definitely going to get those two, the Northwest and the United, and I'll keep the Emirates up for consideration. I'd love to add Norse to my collection. That is an airline that does intrigue me, and that would be something that I would love to have in my collection. And then the Delta 717, that's a good re-release. I don't exactly recall when they did the last one, but it's at least been a couple years, so good re-release for sure. And then the American 79, of course, there's a plethora of them, so I apologize for the wind noise. It is a little windy, and it's also rainy out for whatever reason. I think the sun is shining through, but anyway, I digress at that. So, yeah, the rest of this stuff, the Via Jet, certainly an out-of-left-field release for Gemini, I would argue, but like I said, it was unveiled a little early from Panda Fox Toys in Vietnam. And then the Continental Retro 739, that'll be pretty nice if you don't have the NG and you can't find it for whatever reason, so definitely take this chance to pick that one up. So really, the releases that I'll get out of this will be the Northwest and the United, and then definitely the Emirates I'll keep up for consideration, and the Norse as well. And then everything else will just kind of sit on since I either don't really need it or I already have a model. Like the American 789, I've got the AV400 one already. I don't really see a need to get the second one unless I end up flying one and it's a matching registration. That's kind of my new policy with collecting moving forward is I will buy duplicates if I've flown on a different tail number than one that I already have. So like the American A320s, that's obviously a big example. But the rest of these Gemini Jets releases really good for October, and I'm very excited to get those two retro offerings. I wish that it wasn't this good because I need to save up, and it's getting tiring for my wallet that I have to keep buying stuff. So maybe November will be a little slower, maybe not. We'll see what happens, but nevertheless, a solid release from Gemini Jets. With that being said, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.